TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Russian President Vladimir Putin insists that the recent report, which was published by the Washington Post on Moscow's alleged preparation to supply Iran with an advanced satellite system that would have granted Iran the capacity to monitor IDF bases and activity, is simply false. U.S. President Joe Biden and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan conclude a meeting in Brussels on the sidelines of a NATO summit in what was described by both leaders as positive, sincere, and productive talks. French President Emmanuel Macron confirms an agreement was reached with President Erdogan regarding Libya, which has been a root cause for tensions between Ankara and Paris. An orderly transition of power took on practical form in Jerusalem following parallel meetings that were held yesterday by the incoming ministers of the incumbent 36th Israeli government and their outgoing peers, which consisted of ceremonies marking a so-called change of the guard. In tandem, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett held a meeting with his predecessor, the outgoing Benjamin Netanyahu. The meeting lasted for merely 30 minutes behind closed doors, and a ceremonial exchange in front of the cameras, a custom historically observed by previous Israeli premiers, was evidently shunned. Subsequently, Bennett made a brief tour of his new office in Jerusalem, after which he immediately held two consecutive meetings with his military secretary, Brigadier General Avi Blut, and National Security Council Director Meir Ben Shabbat, who provided the new Israeli leader with a comprehensive overview, as well as issues demanding his immediate attention. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Jerusalem, outgoing Israeli President Reuven Rivlin held a farewell ceremony at the headquarters of the Israeli security agency Shin Bet, during which he voiced gratitude to all of the organization's invisible operatives, as he called them, as well as to the agency's director, who worked day and night to ensure the security of Israel as a Jewish and democratic state.
אני רוצה להודות לכולכם, הנעלמים, האנשים הנמצאים בעשייה הכל כך חשובה לביטחוננו, ולך שאתה עמדת בראש המערכת ברוב תקופת כהונתי, על כך שעם ישראל לא מבין אפילו עד כמה הוא צריך להוקיר תודה על מערכת שמלווה, שומרת אותו ועוטפת אותו מכל משמר בנושאים ובאתגרים לא פשוטים, מבית ומחוץ, מחוץ ומבית. פעמים רבות החלטות מאוד חשובות ומכריעות בחיי היום-יום של מדינת ישראל ובנושאים האסטרטגיים נחתכים על פי חוות הדעת שלכם ועל פי הצורך שלכם. אתם נמצאים בתווך בין הצורך שלנו לשמר מדינה דמוקרטית לבין הצורך שלנו לקיים ולשמר את מסע הדורות שלנו לחזור לארצנו ולמולדתנו ולקיים מדינה שבאופייה יהודית ובאופייה היא דמוקרטית. לא פחות יהודית מדמוקרטית ולא פחות דמוקרטית מיהודית, ואתם עושים זאת, חברים, בצורה מעוררת כבוד.
It is important to know that President Reuven Rivlin is set to be replaced by Israel's President-elect Yitzhak Bougie Herzog on July 9th. Prior to the nearing date, the Israeli head of state is expected to travel to the United States for a meeting with his American counterpart, Joe Biden, at the latter's invitation. Turning to Moscow, where Russian President Vladimir Putin insists that the recent report, which was published by the Washington Post on Moscow's alleged preparation to supply the Islamic Republic of Iran with an advanced satellite system that would have granted Tehran the capacity to monitor IDF bases and activity, is simply false. Per the referred to Washington Post report citing U.S. officials, the Russian plan would deliver to the Iranians a Russian-made Canopus V satellite equipped with a high-resolution camera, that would greatly enhance Iran's spying capabilities, allowing continuous monitoring of facilities ranging from Persian Gulf oil refineries and Israeli military bases to Iraqi barracks that house U.S. troops. However, in an interview with the US-based television network NBC released by the Kremlin ahead of a scheduled meeting with US President Joe Biden tomorrow in Geneva, President Putin stressed that Russia's position about space militarization is unequivocally clear.
Наверное, всем хорошо известна наша позиция по поводу того, что мы категорически против милитаризации космоса вообще. Мы считаем, что космос должен быть свободен от любых видов оружия на околоземном пространстве размещенных и так далее. Поэтому у нас нет таких планов, особенно по передаче какой-то технологии такого уровня, о котором вы сейчас сказали.
Turning to Brussels, where a meeting of NATO leaders concluded yesterday evening at a pivotal time for the alliance, which faced increased internal challenges amongst its members in recent years. And while NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg proclaimed the meeting as a new chapter in transatlantic relations, no less significant meetings were held on the summit sidelines, including a first bilateral face-to-face conversation between President Joe Biden and his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Following their lengthy meeting, both leaders characterized their talks as positive, productive, and sincere, and highlighted that withstanding disagreements are less significant than common interests.
I just finished meeting with President Erdogan of Turkey. We had a positive and productive meeting, much of it one-on-one. We had detailed discussions about how to proceed on a number of issues. Our two countries have big agendas. Our teams are going to continue our discussions, and I'm confident we'll make real progress with Turkey and the United States.
At a separate press briefing, President Erdogan also mentioned that the respective defense and foreign ministers of both countries will hold separate meetings to try and resolve a dispute over Ankara's acquisition of Russia's S-400 anti-aircraft system, which drew both Western condemnations and U.S. sanctions as a consequence.
Türkiye, Amerika Birleşik Devletleri ilişkilerinde çözülemeyecek hiçbir mesele olmadığını, tam tersine işbirliği alanlarımızın sorun başlıklarından daha geniş ve zengin bir görünüm sergilediğini düşünüyoruz. Bizim Patriotlar konusundaki düşüncemiz malum bilinen bir düşünceydi ve bu konuda tabii Amerika'nın da tavrı belliydi. Ne oldu? Amerika Patriotları vermedi. Biz de tabii S-400'ü o zaman almak durumunda kaldık. İşte böyle bir süreçten geliyoruz. Ve bu konularla ilgili savunma sanayinde birlikte neler yapabiliriz? Bunları savunma bakanlarımız, dışişleri bakanlarımız kendi aralarında görüşsünler dedik. Kendi aralarında yapacakları bu görüşmeden sonra da bizler adımlarımızı atalım.
It is important to know that amongst the numerous meetings held on the sidelines of the NATO summit, President Erdogan also held a meeting with his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron.
Le climat de cette rencontre a été un climat apaisé. Et sans qu'il y ait d'excuses formulées, ni même que quelque excuse ait pu être demandée de part ou d'autre, il y a eu la volonté claire de réengager un travail. Ces derniers mois, d'ailleurs, ont été marqués par plus de calme dans les déclarations publiques, et je m'en félicite. Mais nous avons l'un et l'autre acté qu'il était nécessaire, compte tenu des enjeux qui sont collectivement les nôtres, de tout faire pour pouvoir travailler ensemble.
President Macron went on to unveil a number of agreements reached with his Turkish counterpart in matters related to Libya, which has been a root cause for tensions between Ankara and Paris.
Nous avons discuté du sujet libyen avec le président Erdogan, et je crois que nous avons trouvé des points de convergence clairs pour, d'une part, préserver le cessez-le-feu, d'autre part, tenir les objectifs d'élection au 24 décembre prochain, et donc véritablement accompagner aujourd'hui le gouvernement et le président et le vice-président dans ce travail. Et enfin, pour à l'été, travailler ensemble au retrait des combattants étrangers et mercenaires dans un premier temps. Et je pense que c'est une avancée importante et que nous avons ensemble acté d'y œuvrer de concert.
Thank you for watching us. For more of TV7's productions and reports, including a variety of programs and editorials, I encourage you to visit our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Furthermore, as part of TV7 Israel's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join the team and me here in Jerusalem to lift up Turkey in prayer for its salvation and peace, alongside prayers for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world, in addition to our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem and the salvation of Israel. Separately, I would like to thank all of you who partner with TV7 Israel. Your dedicated monthly support, both by means of prayer and finance, is of crucial importance to our ongoing operations. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Tov U'Mevorach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.